can try and win championships, and that's what it's all about. When you look from the outside and you watch this team, I know we're going to have a real good, solid hockey team this year.
Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, joined by my co-host right here, Eric Wilson, here to recap the New York Rangers' loss versus the San Jose Sharks, a 3-2 loss in overtime. Not the best performance by the New York Rangers going up against the Sharks, who, going into this game, had 0 wins. Rangers dropping this one to a really weak opponent. Very shocking, very disappointing loss here from our New York Blue Shirts. But before we go ahead, dive into the recap of the game and discuss what went wrong for the Rangers. Eric, how are you?
Not good, bro. Tone's got a bum knee. I got a bum ankle. Somehow all 3 of my teams lost last night. The Yankees, the Rangers, and the Saints. And, you said this is a disappointing loss. That's correct. But it's not even shocking. When I saw we were playing the Sharks, I literally told Anthony, I said, I guarantee the Rangers lose, hand the Sharks their first one of the season. And of course I'm right. I'm always right. But yeah, no, let's just get into it.
At least it was an overtime loss. The Rangers getting 1 point out of it, sitting with 7 points. Still tied for first in the Metropolitan Division standings with Pittsburgh. We both have 7 points, so at least we could take that away from it. But another full night at the Garden, and the Rangers end up blowing it despite that. So, Eric, I know that Panarin had a really nice goal. Let's go ahead and talk about the positives first, something to be happy about before we dive into all of the shit show of this game. But Panarin, sexy goal. Chytil had a goal. What are your thoughts on Panarin's goal?
Panarin has been playing phenomenally this season so far. Obviously, he's definitely been looking like our best player, looking like he could be a potential Hart Trophy candidate come the end of the season. But, man, that goal was beautiful. And, I'm pretty sure Fox and Trocheck were the 2 that assisted it. It was beautiful. One-timer slap shot, no angle, just right over the goalie's shoulder. And, yeah, it was amazing. Chytil's goal, again, another beautiful shot. Love to see that the kids are still continuing to contribute, especially Chytil down there on the third line. We were a little worried that he might not be able to properly break out this season with him being stuck down there on the bottom 6. But the way that he's looked this season so far is great. So I'm really happy to see that he's contributing as well.
Yeah, I think that is one of my main takeaways. I know that the Rangers ended up losing this game, but if there is something positive to take away, Filip Chytil contributing. Obviously, Artemi Panarin, he's going to continue to contribute and play like a superstar because that's what he is. But Chytil has actually been pretty impressive so far this year, and so have all the kids, developing and breaking out on their different lines now. All the kids have been really impressive. But let's go ahead and talk about what went wrong for the Rangers, Eric. I know power play was a struggle, especially in that first period. What are your thoughts? What went wrong for the Rangers?
I mean, yeah, special teams definitely hurt us a lot. There was a point during the first period last night I texted Tony and I said, I don't even think I want to watch the rest of this game. I swear it was every time we'd take a penalty, the Sharks would score, and then we would instantly just take another penalty. It was very frustrating to watch. And, the Sharks were taking a lot of penalties too, and we just could not capitalize on the power play whatsoever. So it was a very frustrating game, special teams wise.
Yeah, 100%. Frustrating through the special teams. What are your thoughts on the way Igor Shesterkin is playing through the first, few games, and what are your thoughts on his performance last night?
I mean, we knew he wouldn't be putting up numbers like he did last season, but he is still an all-star goalie. I can't really blame him for the goals that he let in. The overtime goal was a little weird to see, when Erik Karlsson scored to win the game. Igor was not even in the crease, but there was just a horrible defensive play by the Rangers that took him out of position. So I can't really blame him. I really blame the defense. Our defense has not looked that good this season outside of Adam Fox. So I don't really blame Igor. As we said against the Ducks in the earlier games in the season, the Rangers aren't really relying on Igor as much as we did last season. So it's he could relax a little bit, but maybe he's relaxing a little bit too much right now. We kind of need him to go back to God mode a little bit if we want to be as good as we were last season.
Yeah, it almost feels like the defense was playing well enough in the first couple games to where we didn't have to rely solely on Igor. But now it almost feels like maybe that's not the case. Maybe the defense isn't playing as well anymore. So who do you put most of the blame on here? I know you said you think Adam Fox is still playing well. Keandre Miller, Jacob Trouba, the captain. What are your thoughts? Who on the defensive side of the puck is not playing up to their standards?
Well, honestly, I think our third defensive pairing has not looked that good with Zach Jones and Braden Schneider. they had a lot of good chemistry last season and throughout training camp and the preseason this year, but throughout the regular season, they really haven't done much. Obviously, I've had my problems with Truba. He's good, but he's not as good as he should be. He's not worth what we're paying him right now. I haven't even really noticed Ryan Lindgren on the ice at all this season so far. So it's just like the entire defensive core itself, like I said, outside of Adam Fox, is just not playing up to standard, and it's really letting Igor down. The offense can only put in so many goals. So it's something's not working, and then it's hard to pinpoint what exactly.
Yeah, and also the Rangers losing the faceoffs, lost of a percentage of 58% to San Jose, 42% to the Rangers. Not too good there. And then, as you mentioned, the power play opportunities. Rangers had 5 of those, and they scored on 0 of them. Very disappointing right there. What is your takeaway from those 2 stats that I just read off, and how can the Rangers improve in those facets of the game?
I don't even know how to improve on that. For the power play, at least, change up the lines, The power play has been solid this season so far. Obviously, last night, not so much. We might have just been going up against a goaltender who just was on his A game last night. So maybe it's not our fault. But, if it continues to be a trend where we're just getting 5 power plays a game and not scoring any of them, then you got to change up the lines. Maybe there's just no chemistry there. But that's not something that you make a drastic change about after one game. That's something you kind of just got to wait and see how it develops. As for the face-offs, we've talked about this a lot on this channel. We've never been that good of a face-off team. At the start of the season, it looked like that might be changing this season with Trocheck coming in and having a very good face-off percentage stat. But there's not much you can do there. Just got to get different centers or just train them more,
Yep. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps up this episode. It's, again, a very disappointing loss by the Rangers, especially considering the opponent that they were facing with 0 wins going into the game. But the Rangers, it was bound to happen. Like we said, Eric saw it coming. He was like, this is a classic Rangers loss, where they're rolling and then they just blow it. So it's unfortunate that they did blow this one. But on to the next game, I guess. We'll go ahead and preview that really quickly. It's on Sunday at 5 p.m. against the Blue Jackets. Eric, what are your thoughts going into that matchup?
Again, I think it's a very winnable game. The Blue Jackets have a couple of superstars on that team, but overall, they're really not the greatest team. So I would like to hopefully say that it's an easy win, but like I always say, typical Rangers fashion, we'll beat the craziest teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then we'll just go into San Jose games and just get blown out of the water. So I guess we kind of just got to wait and see what happens.
Guess we'll wait and see. We're hoping to do a live stream for that game. Still trying to work out the mechanics of the StreamYard, but hopefully we'll be going live before that game to chat with you about it right here on Fireside Rangers. So make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed this episode. Comment down below what are your thoughts on the New York Rangers loss versus the San Jose Sharks. And we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. And let's go Rangers.
Let's go Rangers. I ain't doing anything funny for this one.
He shoots. He's